So in today's video, I want to get down to the nitty gritty of networking. Networking is way more important than a lot of you think. I actually think that some of us get overwhelmed by it. And I understand. I mean, going up and speaking to someone and talking to strangers and whatnot, and people that you're not familiar with, it's like, it can seem very daunting. Even the word networking kind of scares people off, like networking events, and it's a word that's plagued us tremendously, especially creatives and other entrepreneurs who are very introverted, like myself. When I hear the word networking, I actually think like, oh man, are they gonna judge me? I gotta go and I gotta smile. I can't be my authentic self. But look, let me tell you this. It's important, but yet there's a way that you can hack networking, okay? There's a way that you can get through it. But I want to talk about why it's so important. It's something that we should not overlook, no matter how introverted, how scared, how nervous we are. It's something that we shouldn't overlook, because you just never know who it is that you may connect with and who you may meet. Honestly, I was able to land my biggest client just by putting myself out there. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But, many people think that they will get opportunities just because they're good. All right. Just because you're good at performing, you're good at creating a product, whatever it is. Just because you're the bomb diggity doesn't mean that you're automatically going to get the opportunity. Okay, let me say that again. Just because you're good doesn't mean that you're going to instantly and immediately get the opportunity. You need to be more than good. You need to be known. We see it all the time. People are getting opportunities left and right, and we see it and we're like, man, I'm better than them. How were they able to get that opportunity that I've been trying to get for decades? How they get it, But here's the thing, they knew the right person. All right. Knowing the right people will get you in the door. But keep in mind that what it is that you know, that's going to keep you in that room. So what I want to do is go over 3 things that you guys should just consider and think about when you hear that word networking. I want to take the load off. I want to make it easy for you, because I was able to get a lot of opportunities, not just with my biggest client, but other stuff outside of him that helped me build my own personal brand and grow my business. The first thing is, I want you guys to know that it's not what you know, it's who you know. Increasing your knowledge is easy. It's easy for us to go on here and learn a skill and go on. And when I say on here, I'm talking about like YouTube. It's easy for us to take a class. It's easy for us to, just sign up for anything and increase our knowledge. That is super easy because we're initiating that interaction. And keep in mind, like I said before, those who know less, they actually get ahead because they know the right people. It sucks. I remember watching an episode of Love and Hip Hop. And one of the characters, or the artist that was on there, was Remy Ma. And she said when a smaller artist, an independent artist, came to her looking for advice, and they were complaining like, oh man, this person was able to get that show because she's so-and-so's favorite. And she was like, okay, Ann, that's part of the game. Don't be mad that she's the favorite. You become the favorite. And that's my message to you guys. You have to become the favorite. Just because you know something, you're talented, you look good or whatever, you still actually have to go out there and become known and meet the right people. Another example, I was able to land the opportunity to teach at the collegiate level by networking. Some people think I may have applied and was able to get there or something like that. No, it was literally authentic and genuine networking. I moved to Chicago. I went to a networking event at a music incubator co-working space here in the city. And a gentleman walked up to me and we just started talking. We just having a genuine conversation. Come to find out, he worked at the school. He wasn't an instructor, but he worked in administration at the school. And I didn't throw myself at him. I didn't give him a resume, anything like that. I just built a relationship with him because we were in the same industry. that led to me getting a tour. He invited me out to lunch. We hung out. He showed me the school, the building. About 2 to 3 months later, after meeting him, I saw that the department chair over the music business at the time, he posted on Facebook that he was looking for someone to teach a certain course. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. Because it's rare. The course that I taught, which was multimedia web development, was a very weird class because it's not common for people who are in the music business and that does marketing and branding and whatnot, no code, no web development, no, graphic design, and just multimedia in general. And that was something that I picked up over the years just by, having, getting a client and needing to fulfill that contract. It was stuff that I picked up and learned on my own. So when he put that post up, I was like, oh, I could do that in my sleep. I sent him a DM on Facebook. He invited me to the school where we met. I had like an informal interview, and then he offered me the position right there on the spot. That's how simple that was. All because I network. I'm sure he went to the gentleman that I had lunch with and hung out with just to hear what he had to say about me. I'm sure he did that, which is what people supposed to do. You're supposed to check your references, right? So I was able to get that just from being at the right place at the right time and meeting the right person. That opportunity wouldn't have presented itself if I did not leave my house and go out there and go to an event and meet people. That would not have happened if I didn't do that. Okay. So like I said, it's not what you know, but who you know, but you have to go out and meet folks. The second thing I want to touch on is make sure that you always add value first. Don't come looking for a handout, because people can smell an opportunist from a mile away. When I talked about meeting the gentleman that worked at the school, I said I didn't give him my resume. He asked what I do, and I told him, but I didn't give him my resume. Oh, I always wanted to teach, and let me send you this, let me send you that. No. I focused on building that genuine relationship that developed into something else. Okay. So when you guys go out here and network, make sure that you're adding value. Think about what it is that you can offer someone, not what you can take. This is where a lot of people mess up. They mess up because they want to meet and network and hang out with people that they're looking to get something from. People can smell you. They can smell the opportunist scent on you. Okay, so do not do that. Make sure when you approach people, you have something of value to offer. Think about always building leverage. Now, what does leverage mean? Leverage is basically, it's collateral. It's bringing something to the table that's worth something that you can exchange with someone else. All right. When you think about people signing record deals, they always say build leverage first. And they're saying that they want you to have some skin in the game. They want you to have accomplished something on your own to show that you're valued, to show that you're worth whatever they're offering you in that contract. It's the same thing, the same principle. Build leverage, build value. When I landed Mr. Knowles as a client, I wasn't looking for an opportunity when I reached out to him. I was actually frustrated, honestly. I remember it. I was sitting at my kitchen table, extremely frustrated with the industry. I was on the computer looking for motivation and inspiration to just stay the course, because being in music is hard. It was something that I chose to pursue, later on in life, and it's hard, but it's a strong passion of mine. And I went on YouTube and I got swallowed into, some of his videos, and went down that whole tunnel of his videos where he talked about the DNA of achiever and professionalism and the talk to do ratio and all kind of stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, this man is speaking to me. I quickly read his book and I'm like, oh my God, he's listing every characteristic I have. So I'm like, what is my problem? What am I not doing? So I emailed this man, and I still have the email. I might print it out and frame it, but I still have the email, and I'm getting emotional thinking about it because I emailed him at a time where I was ready to give up. And I sent him this message, pouring my heart out, but I wasn't looking for an opportunity. And I didn't mention his daughter either, because people do that all the time. And even I get tired of that. But I didn't mention her. I didn't mention his son-in-law. I talked about what my issue was, and I was looking for advice. And I showed that I was actually interested, that I had, that I consumed some of his work. I didn't randomly, message him. I showed that I read his book. He noticed that because he replied by referencing that. He said, yeah, I see that you read my book. I would love to have a conversation with you to talk about a girl group that I have. What? I did not. I told him what I did in the industry, what I've been trying to do, and I asked for help. Like, could you give me any words of encouragement? I've done X, Y, and Z. What should I do? What should I do? He emailed me back with an opportunity. A week later, I had a 15-minute phone call with this man, with him and his director of marketing at the time. Had a 15-minute phone call. And then he became my client after a 15-minute phone call. Okay? That's because I added value first. I showed my value right in the front of that email. Even though I wasn't pitching him anything, I still showed value. And I was stuck, and I said that. And on top of that, I showed genuine interest in what it is that he was doing and the content that he put out. Okay. So when I tell you guys, always add value first, that is so crucial. Do not go out here wasting people's time by trying to gain an opportunity. Add value first. Last but not least, think about networking as if you were in grade school. This is something that I personally do when I go out to events, because sometimes I just don't want to go out. But there's times where there are events where I do have to show up. One thing I can recommend you guys to do is think about it as if you were in grade school. Think about when you were 5, 6, 7 years old on the playground, and you were, the other kids were playing, and then next thing you know, everybody playing together and hopping off the monkey bars and going down the slides and chasing people, playing tag and stuff. How did that happen? Even today, look at kids. Watch children. Watch your kids play if you have them, or your nieces and nephews and cousins. Watch them. They find a common interest, and then they just go at it, right? They just go for it. The playground. As adults, think about it. Our playground could be sports. It could be theater. It could be music. The thing is to find a common interest and build off of that. That's an icebreaker. That's a way to start a conversation. Okay, I can go out and talk about, Jay-Z, have a conversation about him. I can go online and have conversations with people about an article that I saw. Spotify CEO said something today. I shared that sparked dialogue. So always think about a common interest when you go out here and network. It's the same thing. Another tip is to compliment folks. I noticed that, people like to be complimented. Don't you? I know I do. So make sure if you see somebody rocking a dope jacket or some shoes or something, tell them, let them know, like, oh, those are hot. Where you get them from? Oh, I got these at so-and-so, girl. You never know where that conversation may lead to. Okay. Another thing is, if you are shy and introverted, state that. It's okay to say that, because you never know, the person that you're introducing yourself to or you're meeting, they could be shy and introverted as well. Use that to your advantage. Have a conversation and say, man, those shoes are dope. Okay, that's cool. Man, these networking events, oh, they make me so nervous. Do you get nervous when you come to stuff like this? Do you usually go to stuff like this? There's a conversation. And then just run with it. Just speak to people. Just talk. And you never know where that conversation may lead to. I've met quite a few people just by going up to folks and talking, especially at conferences. So certainly keep that in mind. Do that. This is what I want you guys to do after watching this. Reach out to someone, whether it's online or offline, and spark a conversation with them. And that's it. Just spark a conversation. Find a common interest and reach out to them and talk. Then what I want you to do is come back here in the comments, drop a comment, and let us know how it went. What did you guys talk about, and did it lead to anything? And if it didn't lead to anything, that's fine. The goal is to, just have a conversation, to initiate that conversation, because you just never know where that conversation could lead to. That could lead to a valuable relationship down the line. But it has to start somewhere. And most of the time, it has to start with you. So keep in mind that it's not what you know, but who you know. Always add value first, and take the pressure off by thinking as if you were back in grade school. Just let it go, find a common interest, and go for it. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video.